Yes, but there's nothing we're going to do about it. So, getting back to what's happening today, I was a featured panelist with the University of Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland and two other very knowledgeable people about Gator sports. And Meldon Law is the only official injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. And we were meeting with all the other Gator partners, whether it's Pepsi or, State Farm or dairy farmers, all of them were there. And it was really interesting because we heard about how powerful the Gator brand is. And there's 500,000 Gator alumni, which is amazing. And the Gator brand is #1 in the state of Florida, ahead of the Miami Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida State, Miami, University of Central Florida, all of them. The Gator brand far and away dominates in the state of Florida. And at Meldon Law, when you hire us, you help support the Florida Gators because we donate a good amount of money to the Florida Gators, and we could only do that with the support of loyal friends and family like you. So thank you very much for everything you've done to help Meldon Law grow, and as a consequence of that, we get to help the Florida Gators, who most of us love dearly. If you don't, that's okay. My daughter went to Florida State, so we aren't haters, we're lovers. So wherever you went to school, support that school. However, I will tell you that the experience with the Gators is the best. It was very interesting though, because we were talking about all kinds of different issues coming up, like name, image, likeness, NIL. And it's a moving target. The University of Florida is really doing its best to try to help the student athletes take advantage of NIL. And guess who has more followers and gets more revenue from NIL than anyone else? It's the gymnasts, because the gymnasts are only 6, on the team that start in each event. However, the fact is that the gymnasts have huge followings, over 100,000 for the top 6 gymnasts for the Gators. And Trinity Thomas, of course, is a national gymnast of the year, and she's pretty amazing. Set the record for the most perfect 10s ever. So the football players are starting to learn how to run a business, because that's what NIL is. It was very interesting. Also, just talking about how you co-brand with an entity like the Gators is very important, and it has to be done right because the Gators protect their brand. They don't want anything except a perfect replica of the gator head. So when you see the gator head, you'll see a little R in the bottom right, and that means it's a registered copyright, and it has to be done exactly the way they want. Anyhow, it's all very, very interesting. We had a great time there, and it's actually still going on. I had to leave so I could join y'all at this podcast, and I'm excited to report that all is well. The Gators are looking to surprise some teams this year. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if the Gators are a 4-8 team or an 8-4 team. It could go either way or somewhere in between. We'll see, but I wouldn't count the Gators out for this year, because I think they're building a team culture that makes a lot of sense, and it's going to make a difference. At Meldon Law, we do the same thing. We spend a lot of time and effort making sure that our team culture is head and shoulders above the rest, and that's why we think we're growing and helping a lot of people turn their lives around after a serious accident. People don't realize what it's like to be seriously injured and then all of a sudden have to deal with all the challenges you face. So at Meldon Law, that's something that we take seriously, and we do try to help our friends and family. Next, Alzheimer's. I want to tell you, my wife Patricia and I are co-chairs this year for the Alzheimer's Association Walk coming up in Gainesville on October 21st. It's a Saturday morning, 9 to 11. It's fun. We did it last year. We chaired it and had a blast. But there's something new. For the first time ever, the Federal Drug Administration has approved a drug to minimize the effects of Alzheimer's in early onset Alzheimer's cases. So what we really want to do is bring awareness to the fact that, number one, there are resources available. If someone in your family is suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's and it's early onset, get in touch with your doctor, figure out what can be done. The Alzheimer's Association has tremendous resources. Even if your loved one is not a candidate for the new drugs that they're coming out with, there are lots of resources within the community that we would like to turn you on to so that you can help your loved one deal with Alzheimer's, dementia. It affects every family at some time or another, particularly with people living longer. Remember, when they passed the Social Security Act back in the 1930s, the average age of Americans was 67 years old. So that's how they set the retirement age at 65, because people didn't live but a couple of years, and Social Security was based on the idea that, well, we're only going to have to pay the average Social Security recipient for 2 years. Well, now the average age is 80 plus. So what that means is we're now living longer. When you live longer, you're exposed to a greater likelihood of being a candidate for Alzheimer's, suffering from dementia, and it affects families. Families usually didn't have to take care of loved ones, in their late 80s, early 90s. At our home, we take care of Patricia's mom, who's 90 now, and we love her, and she's doing pretty good, but she is losing it a little bit, and we know the effects of it from a personal standpoint. We're 100% behind the Alzheimer's Association. So what can you do? Go to our Facebook page, Meldon Law, and you will find a link to the Alzheimer's Association. Or just Google Alzheimer's Association, and you will find out all the information that you need in order to help improve the life of your loved one. I want to also mention that we're trying to raise $140,000 this year. Meldon Law is committed to raising $10,000, and we're going to certainly be donating to Alzheimer's. The reason is because we believe in the organization. Now, what you can do is put a team together at your place of work, at your church, at whatever group you get together with frequently. All you need is a few people, and then expand it to your friends and family. And if you can, participate in the march. But most importantly, raise some money and contribute so that we can reach our goal of $140,000 this year. We made our goal last year, I think it was $128,000, so we upped it a little bit to try to increase funding, and all the money goes to support Alzheimer's research and providing resources to the community. Couple other things going on. Meldon Law on our Facebook page is having a great giveaway. It's called the Florida-Georgia VIP Experience for Two. Now, all of us know the Florida-Georgia game is a big deal. It's in Jacksonville. It's been there for 80-some years. There may be a lull in a couple of years when they do renovations to the stadium over there in Jacksonville. Right now, it is a big deal. I've been going to it for years and years and years, and we love the Florida-Georgia game. Now, Meldon Law is having a contest. You can get a VIP experience for two, and you get 2 premium tickets for the Florida-Georgia game. You also get a 2-night stay at the DoubleTree by Hilton, which is right on the water across from the stadium, and you can just take the little boat that they have to go across the river and you're at the game, so you don't have to drive anywhere. That's how we picked the hotel. I've stayed there before. It's fun. And right next door to the Hilton is Ruth Chris Steakhouse. And we're having dinner for two the night before the Florida-Georgia game. All compliments of Meldon Law. And we have 2 passes to the Gator Hospitality event, which is really cool. And a Meldon Law duffel bag. But last and not least, signed football to you from Coach Billy Napier. So that's what we're doing to try to promote Gator sports. We want to make it fun. So what do? You go to Meldon Law Facebook page and look for the VIP giveaway for Florida, Georgia, and you can enter. It's free. It's open to everybody. And we just want to make sure that all of our Gator fans have a chance to have a really incredible dream experience over there. It's both. We have rooms for both Friday and Saturday night because the game's always at 3:30, so you want to get there the night before. So that's what's going on. Everything else at Meldon Law is doing great. My son Kerry, my law partner, he's fishing in Costa Rica, if you can believe that, with the Florida Justice Association. And that's a major group helping people that are injured get justice. And Kerry's on the board of directors this year, so we're very proud of that. And we are working to make sure that those of you that are in need have laws that protect you and make sure that if your life's been turned upside down, there are remedies to help you. Anyhow, we are going to take a short break. Sherry Houston from the Ronald McDonald House has some exciting news to tell us. And as soon as we get back, we're going to have Sherry and hear about what's going on at the Ronald McDonald House at UF Health.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit?
At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Carey allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
I was driving behind a lady, and very suddenly she moved out of the way. There was a log laying in the road, and when I hit my brakes, I went on top of the log. I had 2 herniated discs. I just haven't been the same since. Jeffrey Meldon fought for me all the way. Him and his team really went there for me. Throughout the whole lawsuit, he made sure that my bills was paid. It was never no whenever I called him and asked him for something.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hi there, this is head ball coach Steve Spurrier, and I'm here with my wife Jerry and our good friend Sherry Houston, the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of North Central Florida. We're thrilled to announce that the 2-year anniversary of our restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, is coming up on August 14th. Last year we had so much fun celebrating with everybody that we're doing it bigger and better this year. We're hosting a special dinner and celebration that will include a chef's choice of premium buffet or your favorite Spurrier Gridiron Grill menu, including a filet mignon carving station, shrimp and grits, short rib risotto, wonderful seafood options, and many dessert options also.
Like my famous chocolate chip cookies.
Proceeds being donated to the local Ronald McDonald House.
Thrilled to once again partner with Coach Jerry and the Spurrier Gridiron team to raise funds for the Ronald McDonald House, benefiting families and children experiencing medical emergencies.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill will be donating 11% of all of our money from food and 66% of drink sales to the Ronald McDonald House.
Go to Spurriers.com right now and reserve a ticket before they sell out.
We'll have wonderful food, special guests, and a limited edition of the 2nd year anniversary collector's coins, as well as prizes like a dinner with me and Jerry. We couldn't have become one of the busiest and most successful restaurants in the Southeast without your support. So we want to celebrate with the most important people of our team, and that's you.
I want to celebrate with some of those cookies. Do you have any of those?
Sure do. Right here for you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, CEO, partner of Meldon Law with my son, Kerry Meldon, who's off fishing in Costa Rica with the Florida Justice Association. And he caught this huge dolphin the other day. And I think he's really proud of it. Anyhow, I am here with my good friend, Sherry Houston, who is the CEO of the Ronald McDonald House. And welcome to the show again, Sherry.
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. I love coming to talk with you.
Well, this is really fun. We're here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and Spurrier's has really become the epicenter for Gainesville. I don't know if you know this, but the Gator football team had a huge recruiting in June and the beginning of July. We got all these really good players, and a lot of the credit goes to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, because when the mothers and fathers and grandparents were all here with the recruits, the potential recruits, and trying to get them to sign with the Gators, they were so wowed with the experience here that one by one the recruits started, coming in. So we want to, give a shout out to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, because they're helping the Gators and they're also helping the community. Let's talk about what's coming up on August 14th.
Oh my gosh, Jeffrey. So the Ronald McDonald House has been chosen as the beneficiary for the 2nd anniversary of Spurrier's. And we are so excited. So you can go to the Spurrier's website and you can buy a ticket, pick the time you want to be here, and then there is a huge buffet of food. So if there's things on the menu you want to try, this would be the time for you to try those things.
So I've been there before. Okay, I've been to one of these buffets, and they're awesome.
They are. are.
So I want to encourage you to look here at the camera because people need to see how excited you are.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyhow, Spurrier's is open Tuesday through Sunday. And the event is August 14th. It's a Monday. It's from 5 to 10 o'clock. And what's really neat is the whole restaurant is closed down for this big benefit that Steve and Jerry Spurrier, I know, are working with you to try to get money for the Ronald McDonald House at UF Health.
Yes.
And so let's talk about, well, first of all, how do they get a ticket? Do you know where they go?
Yes, go to the Spurrier's website and you determine what time. You make a reservation. You put your credit card in, and then I look forward to seeing you that night. I will be here. There will be raffles that night. There will be some amazing giveaways, and there will be a commemorative coin. So if you were here last year, you got a commemorative coin.
I have mine.
Oh, I do. So you'll get a different commemorative coin this year.
Yeah, and no, it's really cool because there's a lot of folks in our community that support the Ronald McDonald House. So some of the prizes and giveaways are just amazing. And besides, the food is great, the company is great, the drinks are great, and a lot of the contribution goes to support the Ronald McDonald House, right?
Yes, 11% of all the food, 66% of all the alcohol. So we would love to see you that night to support the house and celebrate an anniversary that is Epic's second year in operation.
Yeah, so 11, okay, was Steve Spurrier's number when he played at the University of Florida, and 66 was the year he won the Heisman Trophy, okay? It also indicates to you there's a lot more markup on alcohol than on food.
That is so true.
Hey, I went to Trader Joe's yesterday to buy a little itty bitty filet, okay? And it was like $15 or something. I mean, the prices for food have skyrocketed, and anyhow, at Spurrier's, you will have the most amazing buffet. They really do a good job on the buffet. They do it for certain sporting events, and they do it for certain family events here. And the fact that we're doing a big party to support what's going on at the Ronald McDonald House is a win-win.
It is. Thank you.
Right? It is. It's like you support a great group and you have a good time.
That's right.
I'm trying, now that we're talking about it, I think I'm going to have to maybe buy some extra tickets and have a contest in our office for who gets to come.
Oh, yes, and you can also buy gift cards that evening to support the house, too.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's talk first. A lot of folks may have heard the name Ronald McDonald House, but they don't really know the details. So let's give you the floor for a minute. What is the Ronald McDonald House?
So we keep families close to their child who's seriously ill. And
now, is this all over the country?
We are an international organization, although we're our own separate 501c3s. So when you donate to our Ronald McDonald House in Gainesville, all that money stays here in Gainesville.
Good.
So we have two programs that allow us to keep families close to their child. The first program is a family room located on the 10th floor of the Children's Hospital, an oasis within that hospital environment. But what we're really known for is our 31-bedroom house at 100% occupancy, 365 days a year, because of those amazing doctors at our Children's Hospital.
Yes, for those of you that don't know, UF Health is the largest hospital organization between Atlanta and Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it's got 22,000 employees. So that gives you the idea, some idea of the magnitude of what goes on. And the Children's Hospital is now a huge dedicated hospital to help children who are suffering from all kinds of illnesses. Is there a certain kind of family that you try to help?
So we have 3 different major diagnoses of children. So the number one reason a family would come to us is because they're waiting for a heart for their child, which is really sad because a child has to pass for a child to get a heart. The second diagnosis is a family who has a child who is born prematurely. So we see lots and lots of multiple birth babies. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we had a mom delivered 3 babies, triplets. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Yes, and we anticipate them going home within the next 2 months. And then the third diagnosis, as sad as it is a family whose child is undergoing cancer treatment. And those children are sometimes with us and they're undergoing outpatient treatment, and sometimes we never see the child because the child is so ill and they're in the hospital receiving treatment.
Yeah, and that must be, I mean, the emotional strain on a family is overwhelming. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen to a parent.
It's an emotional roller coaster, and so many families who are waiting for hearts anticipate getting a heart, and then that heart is either not a match or their child will spike a fever and become ill, and then they're not able to accept the heart that is a match. So there are so many emotions that are going on at any given day with our families.
So how do the families cope with it when, you know, they're working, and if they come to the hospital, they aren't going to be able to work, and you know, what are families? How do families deal with all of that?
So we really are a safety net for those families who have a child who's seriously ill, and no one in Gainesville stays at the Ronald McDonald House. They can use our family room, but they don't stay at the house. So our house really does serve the world. And so in my 9 years as the CEO, we've had families from Paris and London and the Dominican Republic and Canada, and then as close as Jacksonville and Ocala. And so we serve a wide range of people, but what they all have in common is a child, whether the baby's in utero, all the way up to someone who is 21 years old, who is in our children's hospital fighting for their life.
And you know, UF Health has grown so much, right? And it's become world famous now, and particularly, you know, I know some of the doctors over there. For those of you, if you ever have a child sick, you bring them to UF Health, and they will give you world-class care there. I mean, it is, you know, I'll tell you, when I first moved to Gainesville in 1970, you know, it was Shands Hospital, and they were great, you know, but it was more or less, you know, university teaching hospital. It must be 20 times the size now of what it was in 1970.
Absolutely.
You know, and what's happened is they brought in world specialists, right? So that means that if a child needs a heart, the University of Florida, the UF Health, which is actually separate from the University of Florida, they have doctors that perform this operation over and over and over again. They're the best in the world at doing that, and they're there to help. If a child has, God forbid, cancer, and they're you know, have a chance to survive, or they're doing the best they can just to make their life as easy as possible at the end. UF Health has amazing doctors, you know, that help with that. And so I want to, you know, thank you for everything you do, because it really goes hand in hand with what the doctors are doing.
We house those families so they can be close to their child in the hospital and take away all of the where am I going to sleep and where will I be able to wash my clothes and will I get a home-cooked meal. At our house, we have a program called Visiting Chef, where you, Jeffrey, can come into our house and cook for our families. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, it'd be even more fun if my wife, Patricia, who happens to be a master chef.
Oh, I like it even more!
Yeah, you wouldn't want me to cook, unless it's an omelet.
We have a breakfast program. Come and do breakfast.
I can do an omelet. But Patricia, I mean, in our home, the kitchen is always running, you know?
Okay.
And so it's like she loves cooking. So I think that's a great idea, Sherry.
Good.
Any of you who are out there, if you want to get involved with helping at the Ronald McDonald House, how do they do it, Sherry?
Well, they can certainly give me a call. We also have a very vibrant website, which is www.rmhcncf.org. And
Wait. If they just put in Ronald McDonald House, they'll find you.
they will find us, yes. And we have a big social media presence,
how
too.
How do you expect people to remember RHMC? It's really...
Okay, you're right.
Google us.
Google us. Ronald McDonald House, Gainesville.
Right, that's all you need to know.
You're right. Okay.
And I love when people go, www.r... It's like, does anybody do that anymore?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, here's to you, Sherry.
Oh my goodness.
So anyhow, so get involved. Now, there's ways, if you don't want to cook, you can help because there's some new exciting things going on, and we need money, and we also can get donations of things to fill up what's happening. So tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Oh, Jeffrey, we are moving. So it's been 7 years in the making, but our wait list is traditionally between 50 to 125 families. And during COVID, there was a nonprofit that served people who were undergoing cancer treatment, and it closed. And so we were able to procure that property, and we hired an architect, and then in September we hired Parrish McCall Constructors. They did all the pre-construction work for us, and January 3rd of this year, Parrish McCall Constructors broke ground to renovate what was the Hope Lodge, and we are moving our families in on August the 28th. I'm so excited. So we will have 50 guest suites. So there'll be a little seating area, and then an area for families to sleep, and then a fully remodeled bathroom. A huge kitchen for families to cook in, and for your wife to come and cook also in our visiting chef program. We also have a sweets and treats kitchen, which is a little bit more intimate kitchen, where you can bake brownies, you can bake cookies. Slice and bake cookies smell just the same as your grandmother's recipe of Toll House cookies. Did you know that?
No.
It's true. It's a fact. Yes.
Well,
so
I know when people go in, when realtors want to make a home nice, they have something, cooking, right? Because people come in and they get all excited about the smell. And you know what? When families are stressed and going through this, having great smells and food and things like that around brings a sense of normalcy.
Absolutely, it does. And in our new house, we have 2 hospitality suites, so an area for families to not have to walk to the kitchen, but to be able to grab something to eat, like kind of a grab and go, with a microwave and a toaster oven. And then we also have a gym, and we have an indoor playroom. So we have, and a great conference room. So I want your team to come and use our conference room to see firsthand the families that we serve. So we are moving from a 31-bedroom house to 50 guest suites, 22,000 square feet to 45,000 square feet.
Wow, so more than double.
I know, it's so exciting.
It's really cool. So, now you're going to be able to serve a lot more families.
Yes,
right?
19 more.
19 more. However, the Ronald McDonald House survives on donations, right?
It does, and I think the biggest misperception is that McDonald's funds us 100%, and we were never built on the premise that McDonald's was going to fund our budget 100%. We have a great partnership, but we really rely on people in the community to volunteer and also make gifts to help make our house a home.
So what are examples of some of the gifts that you need, and how can people actually donate something?
So there's an opportunity to still give to our capital campaign and name a room after a loved one. The second way is to adopt a room. So for $5,000, you can adopt one of our rooms and have your name however you want it to be recognized outside. So it could say Jeffrey Meldon or the law firm of Jeffrey Meldon, any way you would want it to be said. Jeffrey.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I know, it's very cool.
Now, what about people that, they want to donate, a few $100s and they can't, donate $5,000? What are the opportunities for them?
Well, you're able to go to our wish list on that website, the WW website, and you're able to see that we need things that may not be exciting, but mattress protectors, pillows. We're going to have over 600 pillows in our new house between the 100 beds, and then we have sleeper sofas, and if you're sleeping on that sofa, you need a pillow to sleep on that sofa. So we'll need 600 pillows. That's a lot of pillows.
Yeah.
So pillows, pillow protectors, and then toasters and microwaves. And so there's a whole myriad of things, silverware and new pots and pans and new dishes. So if you go to our website and take a look at our wish list, you can place that order on Amazon, or on Target or Walmart, and the items will come directly to us, and we'll send you a wonderful thank you note.
So that's really cool that folks, you know, if somebody says, well, I can donate $100, you can go to the website, you can find mattress protectors or pillows or something else, and be able to go on, order them, and you don't have to mess with it. They'll, Amazon or Walmart or whatever,
Yes.
they'll bring them over to the house.
Yes.
So I think it's really important for those out there that if you want to form a group or a team of friends and family, you know, you can raise $50 here and $20 here and $100 here, and then pretty soon you'll be able to make a significant contribution to the house.
You can, absolutely. There's no gift that's too small.
So I don't want to get too, you know, personal, but tell us a few of the stories that you've encountered over the years where, you know, you just have had, you know, some, you know, something that happens that's remarkable that makes you feel like it's all worth it.
Jeffrey, that's easy to do. With 31 families, there's 31 remarkable stories. So the first story I'm going to share is a family who's currently in our house. He's a 14-year-old young man who has been on a Berlin heart for the last year and a half.
Been on the what?
A Berlin heart is an artificial heart, so he's been waiting for a child to die so he can have a real heart in his body. And he has been passed over twice. He's from the Pensacola area. So the first heart was not the right match. The second heart, he was a match, but he wasn't well enough to accept the heart. And the last, I think it's been 2 weeks now, shortly after the 4th of July. 4th of July, when it's high holidays, where children drowned or children in a car accident. So this young man has now received his forever heart. And we're hoping that within the next couple of weeks, he'll go home to his brother and sister in the Pensacola area.
Oh my gosh. So he found the heart. He was well enough to accept it. They did the procedure, the operation. It was successful. And now they're monitoring him to make sure that he's good enough to go home and live a normal life.
Exactly. So I'll now tell you another story about preemie babies. So when I first started the Ronald McDonald House 9 years ago, we had a mom who gave birth to quadruplets. So that's 4 babies. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's a lot of babies.
My wife had twins. So
Ooh, that's a lot.
but they were smaller, right? And had to stay in the hospital for a little while. And
absolutely. So these quadruplets were as big as your hand, and they looked like little gerbils. And so there's a pumping room in our house, and so mom was able to express her breast milk, and she took her milk over every day, and those babies grew. And it's been now a year. Those babies are now 4 years old, and you're not going to believe this. They came back for a recheck, and they came by the Ronald McDonald House to visit us. And it was the coolest thing to see these 4-year-olds running around our house, and mom and dad shared that this is the table that we had dinner at, and this is where mommy expressed her milk to take her milk over for you. And we had a group in making cookies that day, and the children were able to have cookies and relax. And then the funniest story is that the little girl comes in my office, and last year at Christmas, 2 years ago at Christmas, her parents sent a card with the children's pictures. And so she looks at my desk and she says, Miss Sherry, she goes, that's a picture of me. I said, I know, you're so important in my life. I said, is there a picture of you in my house? She goes, I don't even know who you are. I said, well, you're always going to be important to me. So she thought that was the funniest thing. But she's 4 years old. Now she's 5 years old, and we haven't seen them this year yet.
Wow. Well, it's amazing because the challenges that families face. I mean, having twins, right, is, one's crying and wakes up the other baby, and then 4, okay, it's like, oh my God, there's never quiet.
That's true.
Right? It's like there's always something going on. There's always, to get a minute of quiet, is something that's, now that they're 4 years old, right, and they're all happy and healthy and running around, right?
Yes.
It's still a handful. I was just on vacation with my grandchildren, right, and they're like 3, 6, and 7. Okay. So my daughter has her handful because it's like, let's take a family picture together, right? And my little granddaughter, the 6-year-old, right, Naomi, she's going, well, I don't feel like taking a picture right now. So he said, well, you stand in the picture, okay, and you put on your face that showing everybody that you don't want to be in this picture, and 5 years from now, we're going to show you that picture. So we did.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's really amazing with, young people, right? Because, it's tragic when older people die, but with young people, they're so vulnerable and they're, it's like, give them a chance.
Exactly. And I think, Jeffrey, what makes me so sad, and the children we really interact with, are those healthy siblings. And so can you imagine having a baby sister in the hospital, but you uproot your life, no matter where you are, whether you're in kindergarten, whether you're in 10th grade, or whether you're captain of the football team your senior year, so you're able to stay close to your sibling who may not make it home. And so those children are called shadow children because mom and dad are so focused on that child in the hospital, they really forget to parent the child who is healthy.
And now, does a healthy child stay over Ronald McDonald House, or do they? Okay.
Oh, we take care of them a lot.
So
yes.
the family unit can
yes,
stay together.
Absolutely. So we have mom and dad, healthy children. Sometimes it's mom and dad and grandparents. Sometimes it's mom and her sister and her mom. It can be a permutation of any kind of family unit.
Well, I'll tell you, for those of us that live and work in Gainesville, we're very familiar with the great work that you do at the Ronald McDonald House, and it's a really exciting time now because you're moving into this new, what was it, 42,000?
45,000!
I shorted you 3,000
you
square
did.
feet. 45,000 square feet of space. So we have a call to action. Number 1, okay, we've got the August 14th party at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Just go to Spurrier's website. Just put in Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Google it. You'll find it. And then you can join us at the party. We'll be there.
Yes, we will.
And it's going to be a terrific party, fun, and a good portion of the profits go to the Ronald McDonald House to support the expansion. The other thing that we can do is if we want to help finish off the house,
yep.
right? We need money to finish off the new property,
yeah.
which means, microwave ovens and pillows and sheet covers and
yep.
all the things that you have in your home, right?
Yes.
All you have to do is go on the Ronald McDonald House website, and you don't have to leave your home. You can do it right from your home, and it'll be delivered by either Amazon or Walmart, or who is the third
Target.
one? Target, yeah. They'll deliver directly to the house, and what a nice way to support an important organization.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
And thank you, Sherry, for everything that you do. And show up August 14th and support the Ronald McDonald House here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We'll see you next week on Meldon Law and Friends.